Okay, back to GNU image manipulation program, also known as Gimp. I'm trying to use it to do some more image processing, and it's a really good example of what not to do with software. I know what it is. It is it's almost like an exercise arena for people to play at designing and developing software. And the problem is, and I don't like saying this because usually when people think of ventures which are economic in nature, they think of them as being corrupt and soulless. But in this case, if there was some governance applied to GNU image manipulation program because it was designed to make money, then it would be fine. It would be a great piece of software. And this is a very strange and frustrating thing, to be trying to use a piece of software which actually isn't really what we would normally regard as a piece of software. It is an experiment. It's a laboratory example of something, and as such it's a mutated, strange, queer, weird thing. Now what comes to mind now is I think it's the third in the series of, no, maybe the fourth in the series of the Alien franchise of films. And you've got this laboratory where they were trying to mess with producing or combining the DNA of the character played by Sigourney Weaver and one of these aliens. And you've got all these weird botched attempts at creating stuff. And that's what the GNU image manipulation program reminds me of. It is a botched attempt. And I never thought really that I would be comfortable stating that something would be better off being an economic enterprise, but it would. It wouldn't be the absolute and utter salvation of it, because that can go wrong too. But in the case of GIMP or GNU image manipulation program, it is a travesty. It is a travesty because you can tell that someone should be saying no more improvements, no more adaptations, no more little secret ways of doing things that make it seem better. It's not better. And the reason I've raised this right now is because I was trying to make I was making a selection, a square selection or a rectangular selection. And when I moved the cursor into that selection, just moved it in, I was able to press up and down and modify the position of it. And then when I move the cursor out, I'm not able to. That tiny little idiosyncratic option of how it functions is it's massive overkill. And it just smacks of someone who should have been told to stop. Yes, I can see where it has some valid purpose, but it's completely unnecessary. It truly is. It's like somebody who works in the manufacturing department of a car manufacturer or whatever, works in a car manufacturing company, and they have made every single car that goes out of the factory have some sort of, let's say that the tread on the tyres. And I know the tyres would be manufactured by a tyre manufacturer, but whatever. The point is, it's going out of the factory with unnecessary nonsense. Like, let's say that the tread is in a weird shape that really doesn't really serve that much of a purpose, because they had too much time on their hands. And this is an important thing to recognise in terms of efficiency and effectiveness in any sphere of human endeavour. There are actually rules, and there are sweet spots. There are points beyond which you've done too much and you must stop. Truly. And these kind of things, I am sure that someone somewhere has sat down and delineated where these moments occur in graphical form. So you have this a linear trajectory on this graph that, well, I'll do it from this way because the camera's reversed, and I think it'll work anyway. It goes up and up and up, and it kind of reaches, there's this point where it's done all it can, and if you keep going and going, it actually makes it worse. So you need to stop. And I think there are many instances of this in cooking, in the culinary arts, in any art. In fact, any artist needs to know when to stop. So maybe GNU image manipulation program is a work of art in that it's not an economic enterprise. It's someone who just needs to leave the object alone, and they keep playing with it, and they keep playing with it, and they keep playing with it. And you can tell when you're using it, it's overcomplicated nonsense. But how do you stop it? Because the people who are doing it, who are producing this thing, are using it as a project. They're using it as an opportunity to see what they can do. So yes, it's marketed, shall we say, as an alternative to Photoshop, or it's understood to be one, but it's not. Now Photoshop's got its own problems because they've stopped listening to the user entirely, which is another problem. But GNU image manipulation program is not a suitable alternative to Photoshop. Yes, it can do everything more or less that Photoshop can do. More or less, not perfectly, and if you jigger with it and mess with it and have extensions or things that other people have created, you can kind of make it work. But it is a project. It is a work of art, and it's also a scientific project. It's an experimental forum or format, and as such it fails. But the thing is, what is it intended to be? Because the intention is that it will be a project. That's all it is. It's a project. It started off as a project. Someone created it just as a project. It wasn't intended to be some world-beating economic enterprise, or whatever you want to call it. It is not. But that's the frustrating, annoying thing about it. Now, there are market-leading pieces of software, and there are market-leading brands. But it's important that there is competition. And there is no competition against Photoshop. And Gimp, or GNU image manipulation program, is not it. I've used it now for, I don't know, at least half a year or so, and it is not an alternative to Photoshop. It is a weird, sick mess. I can use it, I know what it's capable of, but I hate using it. And then you might say, well, go and use Photoshop. Photoshop has different problems, but there's no alternative. So I don't know what to say. I'm making this video just to expand on something I've mentioned previously about this program. And it's a pity and it's a shame that such a thing is an expression of, shall we say, too much freedom. And I make a lot of complaints about the way society is at the moment, and I think there's a great parallel to be made. Because we don't have structure, we don't have discipline, we don't have order the way we used to, and society is a mess. And the same is true of GNU image manipulation program. It's a mess because no one's in control of it, or they who are in control of it, they don't have an agenda which is suited to that kind of thing. It's a weird, strange thing that has no real purpose. I don't know quite how to position the thing because it doesn't have, there's no constraints upon it. They just need to, but if they undid 30 to 40% of the functions on that thing, they will have nailed it. It's too complicated. It's way too complicated. So I don't know what else to say. It's useless software. I'm going to continue using it for a little while, and then I'm going to get shot of it. Get rid of it.